welcome back. I am going live again. Hopefully that should work with everywhere. Gonna try to set up again. And let's take a look here. Okay, and call it live. Yeah, Shanta's hoping this works. I checked the playback on the last stream follows. You'll see what we're talking about if you listen to it. Okay. I will. I mean, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that something can be done. I just hope that this was just got to put everything back. I feel kind of silly. But in any case, we'll put everything back as it has to be and go to X and one moment. Just let's see. Okay, trying to do this again. Hopefully this works, and we'll see. Are we having fun yet? Father Antonio's asks. Yeah, I guess this is fun. So this is good. I have shut down the mobile stream. Okay. Gabriel Michael says everything okay. Improvement, no lag, no choppy sound. This is good. This is good. Val Orthodoxia says, well. Yes, welcome. Ari Herman says your audio's no longer choppy. Fixed. Okay, well then I guess it's just an experimental feature we can't use for a few weeks until it gets all the kinks worked out of it. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for now. So let's get back to where we were, I guess, and let's start searching this Pope and Patriarch stream to see what is going on. Hold on. If anyone has watched this and knows where to find the minute thing, please let me know. Let's see here. Okay.
Και πεινόμεν και διψόμεν και γυμνητεύομεν και κολαφιζόμεθα και ασταθούμεν και κοπιόμεν εργαζόμενοι τες ιδίες χερσίν. Λιδωρούμενοι ευλογούμεν, διακόμενοι ανεχόμεθα, βλασφημούμενοι παρακαλούμεν.
Enjoying a fried fish sandwich with seed oils while watching NFTU. Sounds good, Reconquista. It's clearer than the ecumenism demonstrated this weekend. All right. I'm still trying to find, this stuff. Okay.
Σοφία ορθή ακούσομεν του Αγίου Ευαγγελίου.
That's the pistol. Okay. See here, following comments. Also, shout out to Orthodox Field. I've been living on your YouTube channel for the past couple of weeks while working, listening to Father Stephen Allen's Orthodox Survival Course. Val Orthodoxia says, too bad no true Orthodox parishes in my state. What state is that? Oh, this is the, okay, this is the gospel. Let me see here. Right. We're not going to watch the whole service. This is kind of ridiculous. Okay. There should be a what do you call it? A litany right after this. Okay. Here we go to this is the gospel.
Para que seamos guardados siempre con tu poder, a ti te elevamos gracias al Padre, al Hijo y al
Okay, switch to
Espíritu
Spanish.
Santo, ahora y siempre y por los siglos de los siglos.
Okay, the crowd is confused. There's surprisingly few litanies. Oh, this is. Okay. Did he sense the Pope, I wonder? Howdy, pretty fun. Oh, no! I wonder why Bartholomew isn't the primary celebrant today. He's in there. Let me see if we've got any new comments here. Let's see. Let me see here. Oh, there's some interesting comments. Let's go through them. We've gone through this. We've suffered through this enough, so we could get to. Let me see. Should this turn me true Orthodox? Leonidas with a member chat says absolutely. Also, shout out to Orthodox Philia. Too bad there's no TO parishes in my state. They did a doxology sometime before and commemorated the Pope. If you can find the minute for that so that I can stop watching this, that'd be great. Recon says, I drive 4 hours to go to my TO parish. Maximo says, I saw a video. I will do that. Leonidas says, pray at home. You can do the Typica. That is one solution that people do to pray with the church. Recon says, I do Typica in my home. Val Orthodoxia, Spanish. I'm as confused as you. I mean, I don't know. Pope Bob's from Chicago. He might. You never know. Fix, since you've been gone. I listened to Brian May band play since you've been gone. Okay. Well, glad you're back. The disciple John fled to a bathhouse that was occupied by the heretic Cerinthus. Gabriel Michael says, I'm in a populous state in the Northeast. I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. It is a 4-hour drive in any direction to any Eastern Orthodox temple, whether it be True Orthodox or World Orthodox. Wow. I'd love to see get more information to see if we can help. Sean Sidonia says, oh boy, Maximus 2000 says, you should review the doxology video too, Father. Kevin Klein says, I've walked out of a World Orthodox church for less. Sean Sidonia says, too many clips of him being an ecumenist, got to spread it out a bit. Rekakisa says, when I see this, I thank God for my Bishop Demetrius. Orthodox Field says, Metropolitan Demetrius is a true bishop. Maximus says, yes, I'm under him too. Gabriel Michael says, right, I follow the Typica at home. Yeah, it's tough, but, this is how I remember when I first became True Orthodox, so many of the churches were originally house missions and have developed into churches. So this is a process that takes a few years, and it eventually gets better. So let's see here. Let's see if we can suffer through a few more minutes to find a litany. Okay. He's getting emotional. I mean, they've got like a whole bunch of Roman Catholic clerics. I mean, this is a joint prayer service. There's no way around that. I guess no one feels necessarily uncomfortable. They're bringing out the gifts, so this is the Pope in a place of honor at a divine liturgy, allegedly. That's not common. Okay, let's see. Oh boy. Okay, that's Slavonic. Yep.
Asis Επισκοπής Ορθοδόξων, των ορθοτομούντων, των λόγων της αληθείας, του μακαριωτάτου Πατριάρχου Θεοδόρου Αλεξανδρίας, του και συλλειτουργούντος ημίν, των αγιωτάτων Πατριαρχών Ιωάννου Αντιοχίας, Θεοφίλου Ιεροσολύμων, Κυρίλου Μόσχας, Πορφυρίου Βελιγραδίου, Δανιήλ Βουκουρεστίου, Δανιήλ Σόφιας, Ηλιού Γεωργίας, των Προέδρων των Ορθοδόξων Αυτοκεφάλων Εκκλησιών, Γεωργίου Κύπρου, Ιερονίμου Αθηνών, Σάβα Βαρσοβίας, Ιωάννου Τυράννων, Ροστισλάβου Πρέσοφ, Επιφανίου Κιέβου, των συλλειτουργούντων και συμπροσευχομένων ημί Αγίων Αρχιερέων και των λοιπών Αγίων Αρχιερέων, των Αγιωτάτων Εκκλησιών, των Πρεσβυτερίου της Ευχριστό Διακονίας.
I will say this is interesting because of the fact that it does not appear that he commemorated the Pope with the Pope right in front of him in the right outside the altar. This is really weird. Yeah, I'm feeling uncomfortable too, Kevin. Father Boniface says, it wasn't not Isaiah who said, I hate your solemn assemblies. Yeah, I don't think they would have commuted Pope Bob. It's unlikely. Or this is bad. No, I doubt that they did though. Yeah, I can't watch this comfortably. It's really awful. No, they know better. They don't care, if we're being honest. This has been going on for 50 years. The idea that this is some new level of it, no, it's not. And let me see here. They have all been sold the lie. Trust your hierarchs. I mean, Father Peter Hears might as well should be there. Yeah, I mean, and that's the worst part. Like, I can't see being Father Peter Hears and watching this and being like, okay, well, it's the church. I just can't see that. Maybe he doesn't commemorate him liturgically. No idea. Seriously, 15 plus years ago, I had a cantor job in an RC parish, and even that bothered me a lot less than this. I completely understand. He commemorated Pope Frank when he was there. Yes, he did. And yeah, That's what I think that's actually true. 1959 Lowrider Thunderbee says, not to be poorly mannered, but I see this whole romancing why the Pope as an attempt for the Catholic Church. Yeah, it is. And the next day, as we can actually go to the news article for that. Give me one moment. Pope Leo, unity with Orthodox. And then let me see here. News. Let's see here. Oh, he was in the Blue Mosque 2 days ago? Well, that's crazy. But I assume that they're referring to this. Oh, well, what's this historic declaration for Christian unity? We got to switch here. What do we got here? Let's see, Greek reporter. Pope Leo and Ecumenical Patriarch signed a historic and symbolic joint declaration on Saturday, marking a renewed commitment to the unity of the Catholic and Orthodox churches. The two church leaders met at the Ecumenical Patriarchate in the Fener, Istanbul, where they reaffirmed their dedication to full communion and established the importance of continuing efforts to establish a common date for Easter for all Christians. The meeting highlighted the spiritual and blah, blah, blah. In their declaration, the Pope and the Ecumenical Patriarch unequivocally rejected the use of religion as a justification for violence. They stressed that the pursuit of Christian unity is inseparable from a broader commitment to peace. The goal of Christian unity, the Declaration states, includes the goal of making a fundamental and life-giving contribution to peace among all peoples. Together, we fervently raise our voices. Raise our voices, invoking God's gift of peace in our world. This language underscores the moral responsibility of religious leaders to advocate for harmony and reconciliation in a world still scarred by conflict. Okay. Where is the actual text of the declaration? Because it tells you what. Okay. No, that's not it. No. What the? Anyway. Okay. So, more of the same. And then they had this ecumenical doxology, which
right now.
I assume this one had a commemoration of the Pope, as they claim. That does not surprise me, but that's okay. All right. This gets tiresome after a while. Let me see here. Let's see. Talking about the audience not knowing better, HPV's Chris. Debt to Compromise says, support NFTU, consider donating. Please do. I will say, please support NFTU. Go to NFTU.net and support in a variety of ways in the bottom of the page. As I mentioned earlier on, what we do here, honestly, I cannot do it without the community's help. I've managed to survive. And I thank God for that every single day because of that. But it couldn't happen without you. So yes, help keep the lights on. Support us by subscribing or donating at NFTU.net with various options like PayPal, Cash App, BTC, LTC, or XMR, or on Give Send Go. Anything helps. Currently, the goal is $295. We have a $5 super chat, so we're grateful there. Let me see here. And then let me see. Our Lord is well wherever situation. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, read those. Father Peter here said we must struggle beside the heretics. Yeah. Don't know what that means. In Orthodoxy, you don't struggle beside heretics. You pray with Orthodox. You don't pray with heretics. But if we want to talk about struggling, definitely I can understand that. We cannot leave them. We cannot leave. Yeah, exactly. We cannot abandon those poor heretics. They need us. Definitely have to see that. The TO priest I consulted before taking the cantor job, like he said, it was just a job. It ended when I objected them giving me thunderous applause as if it were a concert hall. That video bothered me more. Matthew says, we back. It's too complex for chat. Simplified question. The Catholics have the money. The Orthodox have the credibility, or at least the appearance of credibility. Our goal is to expose the truth. and I feel it drives the Catholics insane while certain Orthodoxy financial gains. Fair play. I actually agree with that. And yes, Kevin, we pray for the heretics. Nope. In 1959 says, side note, I'm not ecumenical. Maybe that's apparent. Well, welcome to our channel because none of us are ecumenical here, except for the occasional person who comes in shocked, like, why do they hate the Catholics? We don't hate them. They're just not Orthodox, and we don't recognize them as Orthodox Christians. So let me take here again, whatever you can do to help. Really appreciate it. Currently, we're at $5. Usually, as I mentioned, we usually go to 75%. If I can reach 75%, we will lengthen the stream, and we'll go to 10:30. And if we get to 100%, we'll go to 11. So I am hoping, and I'm always grateful for anyone who's willing to help. So let's see here. As I mentioned, just to restate stuff from the beginning, the book on the global history of true Orthodoxy in the 20th century is 90% done. So if you're new here, that we are hoping to get that out by somewhere in the holiday season, so people can start sending it to their friends, etc. Just so you know, again, if you try to reach me on socials, I am not doing socials till nativity. There are only a few ways to reach me. Email, editor@nftu.net. Straightforward. I will get it, but I don't check my email every hour. Actually, I check my email like twice a day. You Frozen Us Cafe, if you're a member there, you can message me directly with news, etc. that you see on socials. That's more than welcome. However, what do you call it? I don't check that all the time. I'm there 3 or 4 times a day at least. Focus is going to be on YouTube and the cafe. So that is where I am going to be focused for the next, until Nativity. So that the compromise says Pope Leo XIV calls for full communion with Orthodox speech video on YouTube. Oh boy. Sean Sidonius, thank you so much for that super chat, $27.99, investing my Black Friday savings. Well, I mean, I don't know how real those savings are, but I appreciate the savings coming to support us. So thank you so much for that. And let's add that to the totals. And then we're going to look at that video. Hopefully this one will be more entertaining than watching what we just did. So let me see, $28. So that would be, here's where my math comes in bad. I am going to say 267 is the goal now. And let me see, currently that would put this up to 33. So, and that was from Sean. And we're going to put in 28. So that's it. Now our goal looks way better. Check that out. It is now, we're just, we're still, away from the super chats. Remember, there's always, if you want to donate without YouTube taking 30%, you can always donate via PayPal and Cash App or BTC XMR or LTC. So whichever, let me see here. John, thank you. No problem. Thank you so much. Reconquista says, Father, at what point do we say that they do not have grace? Is it when they commemorate the Pope at a liturgy? No, I mean, we're under true bishops. As far as I'm concerned, none of the ecumenists, to my knowledge, have grace. It's there may be some special grace imparted upon the people who don't know better, but certainly not on the hierarchy. There's no point. And I think this is going to become clearer when the book comes out, because really it's a worldwide phenomenon we're talking about here as ecumenism. It is, and it's all over the world, and we're all fighting it. Whoa, okay. And let me see. Why is Bulgarian Orthodoxy so invisible? Greek and Russian Orthodoxy often gets mentioned, sometimes Serbian and Romania. Even Georgia gets a mention here and there, but never Bulgaria. Thoughts? In all honesty, Bulgaria often gets forgotten in the shuffle because they're kind of the foray into ecumenism and the resistance really started in the 60s and 70s. And so in some ways, it's newer. Then don't get me wrong, the state takes full advantage of that, which is why they are persecuting the Bulgarian true Orthodox, because they figure they can. We have to become a louder global voice as a whole. And that means that we have to kind of start reaching out to other true Orthodox, and also making noise in other, in other areas where true Orthodox are being persecuted. Ultimately, we're going to have to try to help all of these, Orthodox people that are around. We're dealing with persecution and stuff in Russia and Ukraine and Bulgaria. I don't even know how the Greek situation is, but let's face it, if we look at Esphigmenou, which is, the monastery that's non-commemorative, they're literally being treated like squatters and criminals. Um, so yeah, I absolutely agree. And let me see here. So and Harashima Yahua says, can we get Barnold versus Matt debate? Needs to happen. Loser takes an IQ test. Thank you for helping keep the lights on. Hold on one moment while I update this. Give me just a moment. So Leonidas with another 15. Thank you so much for helping keep the lights on. And then I'm gonna let me change that first. So that is now 48, and that is now 52, and then I have to do the next one after it. So thank you for that. And then we'll see here, and then we'll look at this. And this was, I can't even, I'm just going to put H. But thank you for that $20 super chat. One moment while I update the banner. And you see here. So I really do appreciate that. And that brings us up to 68 in super chats. And so that's great. And so we're now down to 32. 232, I should say, and that's our new goal, and that's where we're going here. Matthew Matnoy says, ha ha ha, IQ test is just an autism exam. Okay. Leonidas asks, do you think Bishop Luke has grace? That's a tricky one because he was previous. I would say that he did. And he's doing the right thing by releasing people to the GOC, and I mean that's a tough one. That's one that I mean, I would say that obviously the Rokor Synod does not have grace under the Moscow Patriarchate. And I think at a synodal level that matters. Is he really, resisting them, or is he just giving people an easy exit? I don't know. And that's a tough one because of his weird situation. I think that if he were to, leave the Rokor MP, there would be hope for him, but I don't know that he's doing that. That's a compromise says one could have emotional benefit while not having grace, etc. Yeah, and maybe God will have mercy on him for sending people to the GOC. But I mean, I don't know how to feel about that at all. So kind of a dark thing. Let me see here. I don't know if I want to touch the third rail with ROAC news. I'll let people who are in ROAC decide whether I should say anything right now. If I get 3 votes for yes, then I'll probably do it. Anyway, let's take a look here. But yeah, let's see. I haven't seen Barnold or Matt. Barnold I haven't seen in a while, but Matt's right there. Matt, I assume we're talking about Matthew. So, yeah. Gabriel Michael says even ex-priest Malachi Martin said Grace had departed from the Vatican. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, the Orthodox field is 1 vote. Says spill the beans. Oh boy. All right. If I get 2 more votes, I gotta be fair. I'm gonna give it like 60 more seconds. But yeah. So and then I don't know if I should create a banner for it. I mean, if I'm gonna talk about this, I probably should create a banner. Is Oh boy. People are going to be mad about this one. I can already tell. And I'm going to be writing an article about it because, oh boy. Okay. Let's see what okay. Will the New Calendar Church of Greece condemn what has now happened in Turkey? No. Why would they? They have the same program. They try to invite the Pope. All the time. To Greece too. Shadow M1663 says, "Do it." Harashimuyushi says, "Now you have to talk about it." My daughter was baptized last week, says Reconquista. She took the name St. Catherine of Alexandria. Another St. Catherine. Glory to God. That's a very popular name this year, 2025. Subdeacon for Life says, "We could take it." Tom Katsafana says, "What did I miss?" Orthodox Field says, "It's public. It would be different if it were a private manor." And Tom Katsafanas comes in with a win with a $13.99 super sticker, delaying the inevitable of me talking about it for about 2.5, maybe 30 seconds. Okay, so let me just add Tom Katsafanas in for 14 because I round up to the penny, especially now that the U.S. government does not produce pennies anymore, which is crazy still. But wow. Okay, so let's see here. So if I add that, that is now 82. And we are now down to a goal of 218, which is pretty good. All right, here goes nothing. So we'll put up that goal there. That's nice. Okay, here goes. I'm gonna get yelled at. I feel it. I'm good. This is gonna make people angry. Okay. Archbishop Andre is probably a name worshiping heretic. I wasn't gonna say it like that. Okay, I was. I mean, that was kind of gonna be the title of the NFTU article. But yeah, and I'm gonna people are gonna be mad about this. But I did my research. I actually did my homework on this. I didn't just trust what one person said or another person said. I got multiple emails, multiple copies, multiple confirmations on everything. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, he semi now defends it. He's kind of doing the gotta play both sides thing on NFTU. However, lay people have contacted not just ROAC, but also our bishops, warning that in fact, Archbishop Andre highly defends name worshiping, which is an insult in my opinion, and spitting on the grave of Metropolitan Valentine, who condemned Gregory Laurier for the heresy of Imyaslavia and said that the church's position was unchanged. And Andre kind of went and sort of changed it. Archbishop Andre. I'll be polite. The point is, while I keep this up, I'm gonna try to see if I can help people understand why name worshiping is a heresy, and it's kind of obvious when you are dealing with name worshipers that they use one of two arguments, and that is they try to say the name of God is God, and you hear them say, "Well, the name of God is actually like an energy of God." And then you also hear people say, "Well, the name of God is like an icon of God." The problem with those is inherent in the statements. If the name of God is an energy of God, then it is uncreated. If the name is uncreated, that means it's inaccessible to humans. Likewise, if the name of God is like an icon is physically created. That would mean that the name of God's created, in which case you can't worship the name, you can only venerate the name. So that answers that. And so I will take down this banner. Unfortunately, that has led to problems in the Louisiana ROAC parish, which I can't say further because I don't want to cause any problems. But I will simply say they have mostly gone to another bishop. And so, and they're an application for that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, the Archbishop Andre part, I may as well just say the quiet part out loud. Yeah, he's basically defending name worshiping, and that's not Orthodox. Ta-da! Okay, I said it, and hopefully everyone's not mad at me in the chat. Doesn't look like it, but give it a minute. Let me see if stuff percolates anything here. Gabriel Michael says, "Glory to God for the new child of God, Katerina, the new handmaiden of God, Katerina, Catherine, excuse me. Would you say the hierarchs don't have grace, but that the layman that also knows about ecumenism also doesn't have grace?" Well, yeah, if you're becoming a partaker in heresy, um, you know, yeah, I think if you're once you're, I think that unfortunately the people who say it's not that bad, unfortunately defend that which is bad. Um, let me see here. Leonidas with big eye thing with a member chat. Gabriel Michael with a cross. I mean, Reconquista with a cross. Shihan Temple says greetings. I have. I'm not sure if that could be Father Mark, or it could be Shihan, who I don't know who that is, but I feel like that's actually a title, like Shodan in Korean. But I could be wrong. If so, but if it is Father Mark and he wants to come on, please feel free. So good evening. Hopefully I covered the situation. Oh, it's Father Mark. Okay, hi Father Mark. So if you want to jump on the stream, you can. I don't know what you're okay with saying. None of us do really. So, but I don't know if I was accurate. I feel like maybe the presentation. Okay, what the heck? Who is this? This is Herman. Okay. All right, Herman. Now you've titled yourself as Archbishop Gregory of Colorado. This is unacceptable. It is Pope Gregory of Colorado. So I fixed it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your question?
No, I was just like reminiscing because I watched the Pope visit to Turkey, I think, on a YouTube video, a quick video, and I saw my previous World Orthodox bishop in the stage. It was just
wow.
surreal.
Well, even their world is a small world, so it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
But it's pretty terrible what we're seeing. But if you're used to it, you'll know. And so well, that's a cool observation. Do you have any questions for us today?
Not really, but well, yeah, I'm just gonna wait there a little bit if it's fine.
Okay, cool. So I will move you back, and then just you can, if you want to ask something, and just use a private chat. Okay. So that is what we're doing today. We're gonna, if people want to stay on, they can, but they can ask in the private chat to come on if they have a question. We don't want things to get interrupted, like they did last week. That was kind of a messy situation, and a lot of people had a right to complain, and they did. So in any case, Father Mark says, "I'm too tired to talk tonight. Another time." Perfectly understandable. It's from what I understand, it's been a pretty stressful week for the parish. A couple of weeks actually, and I'm sure more will be said. Father Mark will have more to say later on. As for me, my personal thing is the sudden deep dive into name worshiping. I think that's a shame, and it means that they're betraying. I should say Bishop Andre is betraying the legacy of Roac, and I will make sure that is that goes public. That's all I can say on that. So let's see here. What do we got here? So again, if you want to jump on the stream to ask a question or make a comment, you can just click the link in the top of the chat, or click the link in the chat in Twitter or in Odyssey. It'll all take you to the same place. Okay. Someone asked for prayers. Okay. And just gonna note some things there. Okay. So let's take a look here. What else have we got? What else is going on? Orthodox Field asks, were you and Hockno when they were dealing with the name worship stuff? Thank the Lord, no. No, that started really kind of in earnest around 2005, 2006 when Gregory Laurier got condemned. By then, I had already left Hockno. I had gone to ROAC, and in 2005, if you look on NFTU and you go to the Suzdal Diocesan Bulletin, which I can just put on the screen, actually, that was really when Gregory Laurier was taken care of over in Yugoslavia. But if you follow the Hakna GOC schism that occurred, where most of the people of Hakna left for the GOC, we did a lot of reports on that. Hold on. I think I want to say it's Messenger in. Okay, that came out wrong. Hold on. Okay, let's see here. All right, that didn't work. So, 1 second. I'm going to share to the screen in a second. Hold on. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to share this tab, and let's see if I can put that on the screen. Hold on. In 2005, I'm going to get to it. Don't worry. Private chat. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let me finish this first, Herman, and then I will get to your question, and I will get to these things. JG asks, Father Joseph, are you feeling better? Thank you for your prayers, blessings for me. No problem. JG, I am feeling better. However, I do have to occasionally take a sip of water because my sore throat is getting to me. I'm about 80%, 90% better. Let's see. Tom Katsufana says, Father, what do you think of the visit of the Pope and Bartholomew? And I say, I'm sorry if you spoke about it. I joined the conversation a few minutes ago. We had a whole section on it. If you want to rewind, basically it was the first topic we talked about. Kevin says, parenthood requires me to depart. Good night, Kevin. God bless you. Name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And then let me get to this diocesan bulletin, and Herman, I will get to your question after. So in 2005, at a meeting I happened to be present at in Russia, the synodal headquarters in Suzdal, they met. The Synod of Bishops, Valentin, Metropolitan Valentin, Archbishop Theodore, now he's the Metropolitan, Archbishop Seraphim, memory eternal, Archbishop Anthony, memory eternal, Bishop Irenarch of Tulin-Briansk, who I'm pretty sure is alive, Bishop Timothy of Orenburg, I'm not sure if he's still with them, and Bishop Ambrose took part in the meeting. He may have passed, I'm not sure. Basically, the Synod of Bishops heard a lengthy report delivered by His Eminence Metropolitan Valentin on the state of affairs connected with the suspension of Iguman Gregory Laurier. Litica Metropolitan note that this year saw a resumption of discussions about name worshiping and the teachings of Father Anthony Bulatovich on the internet, which in his opinion was instigated by a group of followers of the teachings of Schemahara monk Anthony Bulatovich, Father Gregory Laurier, Iguman Theraphan, Alexander Valerich Soldatov, Tatiana Senina, here was Nun Martha, and Olga Mitrenina. Despite the Synod of the Roax repeated prohibitions against discussing the matter in public on April 30th of 2001, December 3rd of 2001, January 11th of 2002, they continued to, quote, spread this teaching over the internet on the portalcredo.ru website in several printed publications and brochures, constantly preparing the ground for spawning a state of strife within the ROAC. Through their troublesome publications, Father Gregory and those with him have destabilized the normal rhythm of life inside the church. The Synod of Roac, Bishops of Roac, had reiterated, said Vladika Valentine, that the higher church authority in pre-revolutionary Russia, the Holy Ruling Synod, had already rendered its judgment on this matter in 1913. In 1917-18, the local all-Russian council rendered its judgment on this matter. The Holy Patriarch Tikhon confirmed these opinions. No one in the Russian church has ever rescinded these decisions concerning the errors of Father Anthony Bulatovich. In 2001, the Rock also added its small voice to the judgments of these earlier decisions. 1 second. Hold on. Okay, so I also have a bit of a runny nose. And so basically he went through the whole thing. The Chancery Office had received loads of letters in support of Father Gregory, letters of protest, so on and so forth. And then the Synod of Bishops suspended Father Gregory, but he started organizing protests, calling the holy icons religious pictures, so on and so forth. The point is, he was already suspended and he was moved to deposition. And Yugoslavia was a big part of that. So it's time to, be realistic about it. And this was the position of the ROAC in 2005, which I saw with my own eyes because I was in Russia at the time. The simple reality is, Laurier began doing his intercommunications with Hockna around this time. They had a couple of meetings a few times before that, but it was not like it was never thought of as something that was ongoing until after 2006. Let me see here. And let's see. I'm Romagatas. I don't know if this is known or spoken yet. I am late to arrive. Catch up. Did the Pope and Entourage receive communion? And did those Mio Mono fathers that were there too? Did they receive communion? To my knowledge, the Pope did not receive communion. I did not watch the whole thing. From what I understand, he was commemorated at least once. There's way too many videos on this subject already that I feel uncomfortable covering. All right, so let's bring back Herman because he has a question. And so, what's your question?
Oh yes, what's the Orthodox position on AI and like the internet in general as well?
There's no unified Orthodox position on AI or the internet in general. I think even from what I read, I think the SFIG Mental Fathers have expressed some suspicions, but they haven't gone so far as to condemn it. I'm not sure otherwise if anyone else has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that there's AI is a tool. It can be used positively or negatively, and a lot of people are using it negatively. But does that reflect on the tool? I mean, if people start violently attacking people with hammers, we don't automatically ban hammers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's like I've watched a lot of Jonathan Pajot videos. They're
Uh-huh.
pretty good sometimes. Like
Mhm.
he says, like AI can be, and the internet in general, like Google search, can be seen as divination in a form, right? And that's condemned in the Old Testament. But there's
Oh,
also like
that's
good
actually yeah, that's actually ridiculous. It's not divination at all. Anyone who's ever owned a library knows what that is. It's categorization. The whole point of Google as a search engine is to make massive amounts of data accessible. That's like calling the Dewey Decimal System divination. It sounds good, but it
yeah.
means nothing.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but there's also like good divination, right? In the Old Testament, we had the like the breastplate, right? Or like there was like two names, and it was
Yeah,
like
I feel uncomfortable saying that there's good divination since the patristic witness is pretty negative towards it uniformly.
okay, okay.
But
Uh,
I think that those are interesting. I would read what the fathers write on those particular divination portions in the Old Testament because they do have commentaries on those.
okay. But what about like casting lots in the Old Testament? That's just like luck, though. That's not divination, I guess. Or
Yeah, I mean that's closer to gambling, but they did cast lots to see who would fall, who would be the next apostle in the New Testament.
oh, okay.
Casting lots can, and it's also used. Casting lots has also been historically been used by synods to choose bishops. Um,
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah,
it has a good purpose, but it's not. They're not trading for money. They're trying to determine what God's will is.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Gabriel Michael says, AI is a glorified search engine. It repeats what has been put into it. Gigo, of course, the usual suspects want to get total control of it. Absolutely, and I doubt they'll be successful, but they'll be successful in convincing crowds that they do have total control of it. Did you have
But
any
we're
more
supposed
questions?
to.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no problem.
I was just thinking like we're supposed to transform everything that's good or like bad into good, right? Because like Christ didn't just
Mm,
become like a hermit, right? Like he
well,
transformed.
we're supposed to sanctify the world through our presence and through our actions, but there are some
Yeah.
things that are not sanctifiable. Obviously, there can never be good witchcraft. There can never be good sodomy. There can, these are
Yeah, that's
these are
true. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So you sanctify what is not already sanctified with
yeah.
blessing. Let me see here. Did you have any more questions right now, Herman?
Yeah, yeah. I searched up like Urim and Thummim, like the breastplates. Like, is
Okay.
that kind of like it was used for divine guidance, but that's not divination, I guess. Or
No, because those were kind of blessed by God, etc.
okay, okay, gotcha. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that's it. That's it.
All right. Well, we'll see you later. If you want to come back on, just let us know. All right. Ramagata says it's going to seem good, and if you know, you know. Quickly the skew how quickly the skews the fact summaries go against Christ to go against Christ. Ultimately, yeah, that's true. But again, one of the things that I found very interesting about the sudden use of AI is how many of them how many of these AIs quickly, for logical consistency reasons, adopted a Christian worldview. And that was something that AI developers had to keep stopping. So that's pretty funny if you think about it. Let me see here. Leonidas with a member chat says, my true Orthodox priest gave a sermon a year ago admonishing the parishioners since a surprising number of them go to see fortune tellers. Wow. I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did. That's not acceptable. They know. The ladies know. I don't know if that's ladies. Maybe men too. I mean, definitely men too. The point is, no, you can't go to fortune tellers. That's a sin. This is absolutely the right thing to do. Let's take a look here. And so, and yes, if anyone asks me, can I go to a fortune teller? I'd be like, no. That's the answer. Once again, if you want to jump on the stream to ask a question or make a comment, just click the link at the top of the chat. There will be wait time as I am trying to keep everything consistent and listenable without interrupting nonstop. Let me see here. Black Ortho Acolyte says it's definitely the ladies. I can't say that. I got to be fair to people. Leonidas said, "Old Greeks sigh." It's superstition. Stuff like that happens. It's bound to happen. So, in any case, let's take a look here. So, once again, we are now in the 51st minute of the second hour. Well, no, we're not. We're actually in the 21st minute of the second hour. Sorry about that. Again, if we want to keep the show going, right now our goal is 218. And we'd have to get to 225 in the win category. We're at 82, so we're kind of close. So if hold on, let me see here. Oh, okay, another question. Hold on one second. So yeah, I will get through that as soon as I go through this. Of course, please support NFTU. Go to NFTU.net and support in a variety of ways at the bottom of the page. Help us keep the lights on. Support us by subscribing or donating at NFTU.net with various options like PayPal, Cash App, BTC, LTC, or XMR, or on Give, Send, Go. Just look in the description. Let me see if I'm hoping. I don't see any external stuff popping up. I am always grateful, and everyone who donates is, in my prayers in the chapel. And so that is our goal. Our goal currently is 218 to go. We have 82 so far. If we can get to 220, if we can get to 225, then we'll go an extra half hour. If we can get to 300, we'll go the whole hour. And it doesn't have to be through PayPal. We really appreciate. I mean, it doesn't have to be through YouTube chats, super chats. They take 30%. So any other way is also appreciated and much appreciated. Leonidas with a member chat. Another way to get your comments on the screen, if you haven't known already, is you can become a member, and then all your comments come live. Saint Hieronymus of Agina told people to stop it with the evil eye talismans. Yes, he did. And as you know, there are still evil eye talismans, unfortunately, but we have to keep on fighting against it, saying it's not correct, it's wrong. All right, well, hold on. And now let's bring back Herman, Pope Gregory of Colorado. What was your next question?
What do you think about like the pagan critique of like when heavenly Jerusalem comes, it's gonna be like boring because everything is like it's gonna be the same forever. Like it's done, like it's over. Like the pagan like cultures and like mythologies, like you keep on going, you keep on fighting, you keep on like doing stuff. Do you understand what I mean?
I would say that their view of the world is boring because I hate to say if we're talking about like Muslim eschatology or we're talking about pagan eschatology, it's all based on very physical things that they want to see for the rest of their lives. But we're we're talking about union with God. I mean, the God who created the universe, we have no idea what potential realities we could see, or what we'd be part of, unless we're united to Him. Um, to me, that's way more exciting than, you know, playing battles or having a river of wine or stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, I think this is infinitely greater.
What do
All
you
right.
think about like in pagan cultures and in ancient like world, like war was like really like was valued, and it's like it was like a mode of transcendence, or how do you say it, like, it's the most highly valued in the Iliad and Mahabharata in Indian mythology, for example, in like Norse mythology as well. Like we don't really see that with Christianity, right?
Yeah, that's on that, but that's by design. Because remember, as paganism is largely man-made, it reflects its creators. So pagan gods in some ways are a little different than elevated humans. In some cases, there's questions as to whether they were humans. In some
Yeah,
cases, that
yeah,
were led by demons and convinced people they were gods. By contrast, God became man so that we might become God. To our purpose was not to fight a great war. You know, if we're willing, if we have to, we will, for our homes, for our families, for our countries.
yeah,
But that's not the ultimate purpose of life. The ultimate
yeah,
purpose of life is that God loves us and wants us to unite to Him. So
yeah.
that's what I would say.
So like love, it transcends like even war. Like war is, yeah, okay, okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
All right. Well, any other questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you, man.
Uh, okay, no problem. All right, so let's get back. Leonidas asks, are onion domes unique to Russian, Slavic, or Slavic churches? They are they're common, I would say, because that's really where those designs kind of developed. I don't think they're totally unique. I think you can find Slavic style or onion domes in other countries that are not of Slavic persuasions, because you can use one or the other. It is more common in Byzantine architecture to use one large dome. But the point is, then there's smaller domes, and that the question is, um, I would say that I'd say it's a cultural feature, but it's one that can transcend, its own culture. So I don't necessarily think like if it has an onion dome like that, you couldn't do a Greek service. Of course you could. Um, Let me take a look here. So I am just checking around. Once again, I'll just put this up here. The goal is 218. We're currently at 82. If we can get to 225 in the next half hour, which, from 82 is not too hard. That's like $140. Well, my math is terrible. 80 would be 145 to 143. Okay. So anyway, let me see here. Redcon Key says, I wonder if Miami will ever get a true Orthodox parish. I think all big cities should have a true Orthodox parish. And I think that with enough coordination, it is possible. I know that there was for a while, there was a small Matthewite parish in Homestead, which was really kind of a glorified home chapel. But there were also people in Miami proper who were trying to set things up. And I mean, the problem is that back then, when I was in Miami, um, the kind of fissures in the Rocorps, et cetera, were just starting. And so a lot of the Rocorps people knew some of the true Orthodox families, and in some cases tried to convince them to come over to Rocorps, and before it was Rocorps MP. I believe that the person who starts putting out that they're doing regular services and sets up a location will attract people, because I believe there's quite a few people still in that area, I would hope, that are willing to embrace having a true Orthodox parish and supporting even a reader mission. But someone has to do it for it to happen. Let me see here. Adrian Wyatt says, on Saturday, I happened upon a patristic faith Q&A stream. The presenter went into a meltdown, hurling insults after I pointed out Jay Dyer was scared to debate us. All manner of insult hurled by them. Well, that is interesting. Now, I would want to watch that if I can find that. Yeah, if you can find that stream. You said it's Patristic Faith Q&A. I mean, get me a minute log or something. I'll put that on because we have a little time and we enjoy a good entertainment when people get mad at the true Orthodox. Onion Dome, Gabriel Michaels says Onion Dome seen on some old Bavarian and Austrian RC churches. That's true. And Leonidas gives a thumbs up. And Romagata says love transcends, and in the name of love, they try to unite with the wrong people. If the hierarchs of the EPMP know this, why do they insist to be in communion with wrong beliefs and push wrongdoers? Because they're actually ecumenists. That's their real agenda. Oh, Debt to Compromise says Father Deacon Ananias, haha. Father Dr. Deacon Ananias saw him. Demonic energies. Yeah. All right, we are down to the last half hour. We're trying to reach the goal of 225. We are 147 away. If we can get there, that would be great. We will stay on for another half hour. If not, I mean, I am grateful for what we've received. It's tricky. I will say this again because I know I've mentioned it. You know, if you've been listening to the whole stream, but I will say that I don't have high expectations this time of year. I'm extremely grateful for what I received because it's getting to that holiday season, and we're not kind of priority there, and we get that because people, you know, they want to focus on, doing holiday things, and we're in the the Nativity Fast, the Apostles Fast. Oh boy, that was kind of like just a slip. We had such a short Apostles Fast this year, and we got 38 days. So in any case, for whatever people want to help with, we really appreciate it. I always say, super chats are great. And I will say this month, super chats were great. And I will announce the final total as I always do for full transparency every month. But if you want to avoid the 30%, the 30% tax, then give that to me. And Romagata says, Father Dr. Deacon and all his books. Oh, God forgive me. Yeah. If he didn't announce it that way himself until we started embarrassing him with it, he would probably still be doing it. I am Father Dr. Deacon and Ananias. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. But yeah, so that's where we are. Well, okay, we're getting in, as I mentioned, we're 29 minutes in. So if you want to jump on the stream to ask a question or make a comment, click the link in the top of the chat. There will be wait time as I'm trying to keep everyone's thoughts organized so we can make better clips and ultimately have a better show. And we'll keep going. Let's see here. Yeah. He says it's just funny to see Dr. Father spaz out in his charitable words towards, oh, I need to find this. Where, okay, is it Saturday's stream? If I can get a minute to it, we'll go look at it. Because I'm the only one who hasn't seen it, I'll be honest. I want to see it for entertainment purposes. Gabriel Michaels says Jay isn't scared. Yes, he is. No, he's scared. Once it got to the point where Vocab Malone was asking, like offering to host it, he got really nervous and really upset. That's when he went on Ruslan's, and then he lied and was like, it's just 5 or 6 people in a trailer in Florida. Like, he knows that nothing will convince me that he is not scared. He is completely scared because and it's not because, oh, such great arguments or anything like that. It's because he's trying to apply a hypocritical argument. He's trying to pretend that the World Orthodox are what we are. What? Hold on. I'm muted? Father Boniface said, you just muted yourself. Can everyone hear me? Adrian White says, I don't have a minute log of Patrician Faith Q&A, but I'll try to find the time to review it, but it may be a while as I have a lot on at the moment. Will be worth the wait. Bob says, Santa's okay. Reconquista, I can hear you. You're not muted. Gabriel Michael, loud and clear. Father Boniface, maybe try to reset in the stream. Seems like everyone else can hear. Okay, whoa, what's this? Okay, Let's see here. First off, thank you so much. Hold on a moment. From NC, I am going to add that to the total. Just received a $20 PayPal. So thank you so much. Again, NC, that brings us to 102. So we're getting closer. We might actually be able to break the 225. We need to keep going for a half hour. So let's put that there. So that is 102. And that leaves $198. Now, if I get to $198, I can stay till 11. Okay. Oh, okay. Just got another one. Hold on. From D. Let's see. And that one was $20.49. I'm gonna round that up for 20. I'm gonna round that up to 21. Why not? Okay, so hold on, D. And I'm gonna put 21 because after all, we no longer have the penny. So now we're at 123. This is getting interesting. And that would be 175. No, 177. Yeah, 177. So now the goal is at 177. If we can get down to 75 and get that up to 225 total, I will stay for another half hour. Really appreciate this, helping keep the lights on. We're doing great. And we have again, we have a goal of 177, and hopefully we can stay a little longer. So let's see what we got here. Okay, I can hear. Oops, my bad. Says Father Boniface, technical problem on my end. Okay, hopefully it's fixed. Nice. Yes, I agree. So this is great. I'm feeling good. Like maybe we can do this if we've got like 24 minutes. I think it's very possible. So yeah. Thank you so much again for helping keep the lights on. Really appreciate it. And it does help. You have no idea how much it helps. Like, okay, I think some of our regular viewers do actually know how much it helps because I literally live off this. This is my income. So yeah, and so sometimes again when it gets thin, ooh, you feel it. Okay, I need water. Hold on. I've been able to, I've mostly recovered. It's the throat that kind of hurts, but outside of that, everything else is okay. Tom Cat Savannah says, I can't do PayPal from my phone. First off, we appreciate your generosity, Tom. Even if you just are doing super chats, because those help out in a different way. So, like, that's why I don't push one way or the other, because like PayPal helps me out now, or like Cash App when I don't owe the money. But what's it called? The super chats, they collect and then they're paid out at the 20th of next month. So like last month, for example, I believe we made $340. So that was our bill money. So I was able to do that. I can show you. This is saying right now that the November earnings are going to end. I made $334. I don't know how well you can't really see it. Oh, maybe if I turn down this. Let me see now. So you can see I made 334. For the month of October, but this month it looks like it's going to be 522. So that will help with a lot of bills, and we have a lot of stuff. Yeah, if anyone can give me the timestamp, the I will put it on. I will figure it out. We will at least finish this show off strong by watching Father Dr. Deacon Ananias Storham, have a meltdown. Because what would this show be without a meltdown? I ask you. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to try this. Let's see if we can find it. Get rid of that big giant ecumenist and this somewhat smaller ecumenist. All right. So the Saturday PF Q&A discussion. All right. let's see here. If anyone can give me a timestamp, DTC, if you can find it, let me know. Where, and Ramagata says, where and what to read that we celebrate entry to the temple and then the conception of Saint Anna. Is there some literature that can guide for me for reading on that? I never thought of these things before. The best thing you can do is look up the great feasts of the church. There are books on the great feasts, specifically the 12 great feasts of the church, and that will give you kind of the kind of narrative that moves you see moving kind of in the iconostas itself, in many cases. So you want to look up the 12 great feasts of the Orthodox Church. And so, whoa, what are you talking? Why is this guy talking? Hold on, I didn't share my screen. I did not share my screen. Hold on, but now I will. So let's see here. Oh, here's Father Dr. Deacon Ananias. It's a 2-hour stream, not unlike that of yours truly, of course, except that I don't have a cool hat. Nor do I have an amazing bookshelf, but I do have an amazing icon tapestry, which is better than a bookshelf. Let me see here. The timing, why entry into the temple then conception? Well, I mean, the entry was before the conception. Well, no, the conception would be before the entry. I think it's because the way I think it works is conception then goes to nativity. So you'll note that the nativity, the conception of the conception of Christ is 9 months before the nativity. I feel like that is one of those things where it's a 9-month thing. But I'm not sure why how the entry is dated. Yeah, I'd have to research that. Give me a second. Let's see if we can find a quick, easy answer. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So apparently this feast originated as a result of the dedication of the new church of the Theotokos, built in 543 by the Byzantines under Emperor Saint Justinian I, near the site of the ruined temple in Jerusalem. The basilica was destroyed by the Sasanian Persians under Khosrow after the siege of Jerusalem. The first documented celebration of the feast in any calendar is in the Menologion of Basil II. So basically, this feast originates to the dedication of the temple of the entrance of the Theotokos. So that's kind of where its origin makes it, and that kind of makes sense. A temple devoted to the Theotokos, entrance of that actually kind of makes sense there. That's fine. That's fair. Little Wing with a member chat says, I can only support with love and prayers, Father, because I'm struggling to keep the lights on too. I appreciate you greatly. That's okay. Prayers are good too. I take them. They're good. Oh, hold on. There's a last question we will bring on in just a bit. Romagata says, because Panagia enters 3 years old, then we commemorate St. Anna's conception, or the conception of Anna is just the icon we venerate. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, it has to do with the temple of the Theotokos that was rebuilt by Saint Justinian. So interesting question though, and it is an important feast day, and we do take it seriously. Zons 2162 says hi. Okay, let's bring on Herman, Pope Gregory of Colorado, for one more question.
Nice. So I was wondering, you were talking about Imislava before. Like, how severe is it? Like, could it be considered idolatry? And like, if so, like, I think like the GOCK, they made some concessions regarding it. Like, they clarified their position about it, but I think they still denied it, right? But
They don't
like,
they don't recognize him, Yugoslavia. There's a whole website they put together where they explain how the condemnation was. permanent. It is kind of like idolatry, unfortunately, and with the more educated name worshippers, like in the Hakna and in the Laureates, etc., the way they present it is always as an academic question. It is not. And if you deal with the more primitive name worshippers in Russia and the name worshiping groups, they clearly treat like the Jesus prayer. They think that it's like some way of like pulling God in. And have crazy views like that. So yeah,
Is it a little bit like Hare Krishna? Like they say these mantras all the time, you know?
Well,
like
not for Orthodox, but to some degree for some of the name worshippers, yes.
Because the Jesus prayer is important, but it's in no way like divination, or like you're not supposed to worship the phrase, right?
Right. Like many name worshippers believe that when they say the Jesus's name, they're literally pulling down the divine energy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's absolute insanity.
Like how many groups are associated with this? Like I think GOCM, they were in communion
They
with
were trying to talk to Hakna, but then they used Yugoslavia as a reason to cut off discussion.
Oh, okay.
Gabriel Michael says, to me, Yugoslavia has distinct overtones of Sufi dikir. Very possibly. I'm not too familiar with that particular doctrine. But did you have any other questions?
I was wondering, like, how important is TO polemics then? Like, how were you, like, I'm already in GOCK. Like, is there any worth exploring, like, other positions? Like, is it important?
Well, what other position? What do you mean other positions?
Like the ROAC, they're not in communion with us.
Right, but the ROAC condemned Yugoslavia first. This is just Archbishop Andre by himself doing this.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's the only organized Yugoslavist body that's completely Yugoslavist, as I know of, is Hakna, to a lesser degree, Laurier Synod. But that's it.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, the self-deposed synod does. So yeah, that's all I can say there. All right.
Okay.
Well, in that case, did you have any other questions?
No, thank you so much.
All right. So we'll see. We're either going to end the show soon or maybe not. Who knows? God willing, we keep going. So this is, I think I think this is a pretty nicely organized show. I think we're organizing it okay. We had a problem with the whole double stream thing, but I think we turned out, you know, okay. Gabriel Michael says they chant one of the 99 names of Allah while rotating the circle to flute and drum like Yahoo until they fall into a trance. Okay. Oh, is that the whirling dervishes? I think that's like the whirling dervishes. Leonidas asks, Laurier has his own synod. After his deposition, he went and met with two deposed bishops of the ROAC who had already been removed by the synod, and convinced them that they weren't deposed and they should make him a bishop. So yeah. But in any case, he, you know, as far as I know, outside of, you know, the I think the St. Petersburg church he might still have, and a couple of houses they don't have much of anything. I think that, you know, while he was being edgy and was being like the rebellious guy against the synod, that attracted some attention. But then when you actually have to build something, you fail like everything else. Death to Compromise says, I think the X Lives makes up for YouTube Short Live not working. Yeah, I guess. I just you know, I thought it was a nice feature. I thought it was new. I thought it would be good. Yes, Gabriel says, while yes, similar to Whirling Dervishes, the Mevlevia. Okay. So we are entering into the last yes, this is 12 minutes of the show. So if you've got any final questions, comments, etc., and we'll get to it. But until then, let's take a look here and see if we got anything else going on that I forgot. I did not. So I will say it one more time. You know, again, help keep the lights on. Support us by subscribing or donating at NFTU.net with various options like PayPal, Cash App, BTC, LTC, or XMR. or on GiveSendGo. Just look in the description, or if you go to NFTU.net at the bottom of the page, you'll see that. Currently, and this may, I don't know if this is going to be the final. Let me see here. Father, I haven't gotten my icons blessed, only under World Orthodoxy. Should I get them blessed by a true Orthodox priest? They also didn't keep it in the altar for 40 days. I'm going to be honest. Most people don't have the icons kept in the altar for 40 days. Like, it's usually just brought into the altar during church and or beforehand, and obviously, just given a cross, sprinkled with holy water, etc. So yeah, if you want to get your icons blessed, the best thing to do is to ask the priest that's serving you what his position is and how to do it, because different priests have different views. I've never heard of a 40-day icon blessing, but in any case, I would say that that's probably something you should ask the priest in your situation, because every priest is different, and I don't want people to be like, "Wow, Father Joseph Swain said this." No, I'm leaving it to I'm not intruding on anyone's life. Okay, so let me see here. Checking. Check something real here. Increase the light levels. Okay, and let's see here. Looking for surprises, but I probably won't find any. Okay, so let's take a look here and see if we got let's see. Record Key says, what do you think about healing properties of wearing copper? Oh, I'm gonna say jury's out on that. If I'm being honest, because there are healing properties to minerals. That's why we eat them. Copper is a part of even really good multivitamins, or even not that good multivitamins. So I mean, I don't think there's anything mystical there. Contact with minerals, whether ingestion or whether it's rubbed on the face or it's worn, those have medical properties to them. So I don't have a strong opinion on the matter. Again, I obviously copper is it's part of a healthy diet, a small amount. But wearing copper, I would think, is kind of the similar thing, in that you're dealing with the skin being touched. Let me see here. OCA and GoArch, that was Anthony Nomagata. And let's see, Ryan Maya, it's 9565 says, Father, do you come from an Orthodox Jewish background? No. I think the question's hilarious. I've never had that approach, but what makes you say that? I mean, do I seem like particularly rabbinic? Is it the beard? Maybe is it the going bald part? Is it the glass? I don't know. What makes me Jewy? I feel like kind of that's weird. I mean, I have on my Peruvian side, my mother's side, I actually do have some Jewish ancestry, but it's like, I think something like 7 centuries back, or like 8 centuries back. It's not anything near new recent. So I don't know. Gray Pape, thank you for helping keep the lights on with $5 on Resistance to Evil by Force. Can someone who is true Orthodox do an audio or video trying to make sense of it? In fact, I was sent that book. It was one of many books I didn't finish reviewing because I started getting quite a few books. Hopefully, I can pick that back up. I mean, I'm still busy now, but hopefully, maybe around the time of the before Great Lent, I can try to make sense of it. I think there's an initial review, but it's only for like the first 3 chapters. But I will try eventually. Father Boniface with a member chat says copper pipe kills bacteria. Exactly. And then Reconquista says, I bought glassware, cobalt, and uranium. The glassware has healing properties. Okay. I don't doubt that there are some things that are helpful. And Father Boniface says that's why it's better than PVC. Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Mayas says the beard and the glasses. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they look very, very Hebraic, but okay. Harashim Yuha says his Jewish rabble. Wow. Okay. Father Monica says that was actually mentioned in Modern Marvels. Reconquista says the guards priest asked me and if I want to bless my icons now or wait 40 days, so I choose now all the time. So strange. Yeah, always choose now if you can. Gabriel Michael says copper and silver are antibacterial. If copper is worn for rheumatism protection, a doctor I knew said you had to wear about 29 pounds of copper. Wow. Okay. Romagata says interesting recon. And then Harashi Miyahua says Laurier Powell. Okay. Riley and Karen Olson says closest Hamas. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put you in timeout for that. That was weird. What? And they do roofs in copper, the rich, so it helps kill bacteria from chemtrails they drop on us poor people. Yeah, it would be nice. Copper roofs are some of the more expensive. It's mostly just shingle roofs these days. But if you can afford a copper roof, it definitely has its advantages. Let me see here. Is there any canons about preserving tradition by using sundials? No, but I mean, I'm not against sundials. I think people should have some. They will outlast any power outage. So I'm not against sundials. You can even look up YouTube's on how to build a little one. Adrian Wyatt says if your ancestry is Sephardic Jewish from Spain, you can still get Spanish citizenships without giving up other citizenships, or possibly Portuguese, but Portuguese national law will change very soon. I'm not going to try to look that up. I do appreciate the offer of Spanish citizenship, but I'm kind of happy with Memento Mori says, Father, just tuning in, but have you seen that the Pope wants full-on communion with quote-unquote orthodoxy, which I'm presuming means the EP? Sorry if you already covered it. We did. It was basically like the first half of the show. We went through some of the video and so on and so forth. Embarrassing, shameful, all the words, but we did cover it. Let me see. Zones 2162 just catching up. What did you think of the Pope and Patriarch meeting? Sorry if you've already addressed this. I have, but remember, it is a 50-year-old policy. This has been going on for ages. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but that is kind of where it is today. Harashimu Yahua says, return to tradition, use sundials and astrolabes. You will never have to worry about paper calendars again. Reconquista says, Father, in a Freemason book, they mentioned that they had to remove the Tartars. I'm not sure if the Tartars are myth or real. Let me see here. I mean, the Freemasons didn't, to my knowledge, remove the Tatars. I thought that was Freemasons like claiming that they took over everything. You can't trust anything they say. Let me see here. What I will do is I will click here and I will use this. And then let me see. Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. So that was Adrian Wyatt, Debt to Compromise. He was like, who was here was talking about the Ananias freakout. Yeah, I have no clue on that. That was Adrian Wyatt. And hopefully I'll get more details. So let me see here. Thank you to everyone. We had Herman as our guest. So thank you to our listeners. To those who had questions and those who had comments, and to those who support our mission, we obviously did not get the number we were looking at today, so it's time to play the losing sound. It has vanished. No, it hasn't. Yeah, so support the channel. We at NFTU need your help. Support us by subscribing or donating at NFTU.net or on Give, Send, Go. We remember all of you in our prayers, and thank you for all the support for NFTU. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe through the prayers of Holy Father, so Jesus Christ, our God, have mercy on us and save us. And God bless you. Let me see here. Yeah, I am. Romagata, let's finish off, says, I'm guilty of wrongfully laughing at the Father Dr. Deacon in his books, but he spazzes out so way. He does. He makes just the faces and he turns red and stuff. And Tatars, well, yeah, there was the Tartaria thing is a little more complicated because it was more of a kind of a mental region than an actual labeled one. Have a good night, everyone. God bless you. Bless the Holy Spirit. And bye now.